And you know what that tells me, Amy?
What?
You know what that means?
What?
That's great news for the stock market. Because everything is great news for the stock market, apparently, even
Right.
no matter how cataclysmic, no matter how anti-growth, no matter how contractionary. Good news for the stock market. 140,000 jobs lost in December, right? Scott Shellady, Scott the Cow Guy Shellady, Fox Business contributor, joins us now. Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, we were expecting a gain of around 70,000, and we lost 140,000. And you're exactly right. It's perplexing. And I listen to my cohorts on all the other different outlets, channels, and radio, and they try to explain it away when I don't think they should be, because I think it just sows mistrust between the general public and people in the industry. Sometimes stuff just moves for the wrong reasons, and I think this is a classic example. There's nowhere else to put your money.
Let me explain it to you, Scott. All right.
Uh-oh, he's got some splaining to do.
What we have here in the industry is known as the fiscal Goldilocks scenario that has presented itself. We have, with socialists winning 2 Senate seats in Georgia, we now have confirmation that we will continue to get easy money, funny money. The printing presses will continue to roll. That's good news. And we won't get the big tax increases and the regulatory overreach because we'll have the easy money, and because there'll be just enough moderates in the House and the Senate, Joe Manchin in the Senate, a couple in the House, to forestall any big tax increases or regulatory overreaches. So what you have is the Pareto equilibrium, if you will, for policy.
Okay, well, that is the pill that is being shoved down the goose's neck right now, and I think I don't agree with it. I mean, I understand that, but I don't have to agree with it. And here's where I come from. Last I checked, you have to have a decent economy. I mean, look, we've been growing at a slower rate month on month. Yesterday's jobless claims combined with, we have 19 million people still on some sort of unemployment. And today we have 140,000 lost jobs, of which 500,000 were lost in leisure and hospitality. 500,000. Now, this goes to what I've been saying. We haven't been really counting all of those businesses and all those big buildings in New York, L.A. and Chicago that aren't going to come back because there's nobody in the buildings. And they're only, say, in New York, occupied to about 8% occupancy. These businesses in the cities have to have these buildings at 80% occupancy to make money. So we've had our head in the sand. It's now starting to come to fruition, and we've just walked into a guy that does want to have higher taxes, said he's running on higher taxes. It's actually a $4.4 trillion tax hike plan. But the market continues to go up because everybody thinks exactly what you just said. But I think that the basic premise is we have to have a decent economy, and we're starting to slow down. We could have a bad economy. And so what happens to businesses that are going to go out of business? We've lost at least 20% of our small businesses right now for good. Now, we might, and I think that number is growing, and I think it's actually double that. So, yeah, I guess we can all put our money in the stock market and we continue to play that Ponzi scheme, but it's going to come back to haunt you. You can't continue to go up on vapor. And look, I'm not here to tell anybody where to put their money, but I'm just going to tell you that the yellow caution lights have got to be flashing because you've seen insane rallies in Bitcoin, and you've seen the stock market shrug off anything that's been bad, especially today. Because, hey, this is where the easy money is going. We're going to get
exactly. If you were here to tell us where to put our money, you would have told us months ago to put all our money in Bitcoin. Where were you, Scott?
Yeah, I think he did.
Well, I'm not a big fan of that either. So, look, I can't believe people pay more for bottled water than gasoline, too. So, there's a few things out there that still defy common sense. So just be careful because we're getting into la-la land when it comes to investors. And I really do, that the man on the street has a better feeling for things than a lot of times the people in the industry. And this is sowing mistrust. When you continue to hear lockdown, second wave of the virus, second strain of the virus, maybe third strain of the virus. Yeah, and then you see the stock market continue to go up every day. I think that this sows mistrust, and I think it should because, we're still on some very shaky ground. And again, I say this every single time I come on. We are getting our economy is slowly coming back, but it's slowly coming back at a worse pace every month. And at some point in time, that could turn over. And then what is the administration going to do? Are they going to tax everybody on a downturn? I mean, it's just insane. So you have to be very careful. I think this is, when you see moves like you have in Bitcoin, you have to stop to think, hey, things that go that, in that direction for me can also go in the direction against me, and you got to really start to be careful here.
Well,
I'm stressed that.
Scott, what do you think is going to happen to the stock market when all the blue states are bailed out? I mean, Pritzker was brimming from, ear to ear, smiling that, that the Senate's now in Democratic hands because he wants to get some of that money.
Well, I mean, I guess if you have real estate in Illinois, you got to be taking a little bit of a sigh of relief. I suppose that I've thought about it.
I don't think so.
We've got a family farm. Well, I mean,
not real estate in Illinois. I don't think so. Whatever bailout may come, it will be pennies on the dollar that are required. I mean, what's the bailout going to be? $250 billion for Illinois? I don't think so. I mean, we have $10 billion in unpaid bills in real time. So what is a couple of $1 billion or access to another municipal facility from the Fed mean for Illinois? It doesn't mean anything.
And I think the people that can move did and are, and there's the people that are left are unfortunately going to be holding that bag. And that's happening from California as well, and obviously for some of the states, New York and New Jersey, down to Florida. Look, they're going to get some money. Right, they're going to get more money had they, this way than they would have had,
right.
There had been a Trump administration or somebody would have held on to the Senate. But I don't understand. What I don't understand is what do these people expect when they put these people in power, right? I mean, I guess the free money is something that they all want to have, but I have to remind myself, Dan and Amy, I mean, you guys you're a little younger than I am, but if you go to the average, say, 30-year-old voter today, there's been nothing really stressful, generally speaking, in their lives. But when we were 30, I still had a grandfather that had been in World War II. I had another grandfather who could tell me about selling apples during the Depression. We had Vietnam, we had Korea, we had things, we had the Bay of Pigs, we had stuff that was, kind of unsettling. And now, if you were born since 1990. It's been straight up, baby. Everything's good. All the houses are bigger. Everybody's got 2 or 3 cars. Remember how small our houses used to be?
Oh, yeah. We 5 people, 1 bathroom.
Right. And some people had a TV, but it was only black and white.
Yep.
I mean, all that's gone. These people have only had it easy. And I think that this is a general reflection of this new voter coming in thinking this is just how it's going to be.
Well, something else with that new voter and some of the old voters, too, it turns out. I mean, some from Comrade Sanders' generation, too. We have just we're changing what we understand to be true about how the world works. We understand what we understand to be true about man's nature, what we understand to be true about how a free society, how an economy in a free society works. We used to believe that private enterprise grew economies. Now we believe government does.
Right, you're exactly right. Strap in and get ready for the universal basic income, because that's where we're going. We're going to pay people to stay home because there's going to be so much technological innovation. We're going to have so many people out of work that the government's still going to be humming along, and they're going to start paying people the universal basic income. And it's an old idea, and it's not really ever worked, but that's where we're going to go, and people are going to fall for it.
I wanted to get your reaction to a comment that was made by Joel Ross, who has the Citadel Realty newsletter. He's in addition to you, one of the guys I look to for insights. He writes, the next several years are going to be very troubling for those folks who do believe that the private sector grows economies. Low-income workers are going to find themselves out of jobs and replaced by automation as the $15 minimum wage and pro-union policies kick in. The worst hurt will be blacks, who will see their opportunities for full-time jobs go away despite huge pressures on companies to hire them. Bond investors will suffer as rates rise and inflation sprouts. Innovation will once again be constrained as it was under Obama-Biden due to excessive regulation. Infrastructure projects will again become delayed as new government environmental regulation goes back to impeding any hope of getting projects underway quickly. And he suggests higher energy prices are in the offing, and all you're going to get in terms of policy response is the Fed buying more and more federal debt as there's simply not the capacity in sovereign markets to accommodate the flood of debt, which is already at 108% of GDP. Does he have it about sussed out?
Yeah, I mean, I would have disagreed with probably only one or two of those things, but yeah, I absolutely agree 100%. I mean, we can't continue to do this, and everybody thinks we can. And forget about saying that stupid saying about kicking the can down the road. I mean, at some point in time, when are we going to wake up from this nightmare? Because there isn't going to be. We're all waiting for what Bill Clinton got lucky to have, is that that new technological innovation coming around the corner and saving everybody. I mean, what's going to be the new technological innovation? What, electron transport? Feed me up, Scotty. We're all going to Mars in 5 minutes. I mean, where is this going to come from? Because that's all we've been doing is printing money. This has been happening since '08. Printing money. We haven't had any inflation pressures because the economy's been so poor, in the hopes that we're going to be rescued by some new technological innovation coming around the corner. And nobody knows what it is yet. We still can't find it. And, there's a leak in the economic engine because what we're putting in is not coming out the exhaust. So I think that there's big problems out there, systemic problems. But we're going to just continue to live in this la-la land because we've never really been pressed. No one's really ever had anything bad happen to them per se. And the government's going to continue to print until, I don't know, when's enough? At 150% of GDP? I mean, this is, to me, is absolutely insane. And this is where I can't stand about it, Dan and Amy, is now everybody's expecting things to go up even during bad news. It's like, oh, well, this is what the market does. Well, you know what? I've been doing this for 33 years. It doesn't. But right now, that's the world we're in. And everybody's got short-termism, right? Whatever happened yesterday is going to happen again today.
I wanted to get your reaction, go back to Bitcoin for you. But it seems to me that crypto's advantage is difficult to maintain because it's sort of an exotic vehicle. But if it ever goes mainstream, then you're going to have the formal banking sector operating in electronic reserve currencies, and that will eliminate its scarcity and thus its value. 100%.
I mean, for all the stupid licenses that I have to be able to do this job, right? And there's a myriad of them. One of the biggest ones is this money laundering. They're always worried about, I have to take exams upon exams about, this Bitcoin is going to be the easiest way to launder money. So until, once this does finally become mainstream, the government's going to move into that space, and it's over, in my mind. I mean, I don't, I understand the allure, but at the same time, once it does become, like you said, mainstream, the government's going to want to tax it, right? They're going to want to get involved, and they're going to. And then they're already starting to get involved. I know that they're starting to value your Bitcoin on your taxes and things like that. So this is going to be, I think, another watch it. If it goes to 300,000, it's going to be a great example of rememberpets.com. That's what it feels like to me.
So, but I mean, if you're talking to the Bitcoin investor, are you basically saying there is a window, but that window closes as soon as the formal banking system and the government and the combination of the two get involved in mainstreaming this? So that's the horizon.
Yeah. Does anybody think that the government's just going to let Bitcoin go on unchecked forever? I mean, you have to ask yourself that. No, the answer is no. It's not going to happen, especially when the government's more and more distressed and needs to find a place to, they can't tax the people, 15% on their houses in South Chicago anymore. They're going to have to look to something. And it's going to be things like that, and that's where they're going to go. So I think that there's going to be a honeymoon period. We're probably in the middle of it right now, but there's also going to be a come to Jesus, and that's when the government really starts to weigh in.
He is Scott the Cow Guy Shellady, Fox Business regular and regular on the morning edition too. Scott, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
After 25 years of building websites for all kinds of companies and many different industries, AmericanEagle.com realized a well-designed website is also your best employee. Bringing efficiency, revenue, production, showing up every day, giving above and beyond to increase your bottom line. That's what a website designed, developed, and hosted by AmericanEagle.com has brought to so many clients. An AmericanEagle.com website is a 24/7 branding exercise, building rapport and thus brand equity while you sleep. Companies like WeatherTech have relied on AmericanEagle.com's website design and development and hosting capabilities for years. When some of the world's top brands need a reliable company to prepare their sites for high-traffic events, who do they call? AmericanEagle.com. Their clients have come to rely on them for a full line of website services, from consulting and strategy to digital marketing, hosting, and maintenance. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today. 1-877-WEB-NOW. The number 1 is the number. AmericanEagle.com is the website. 1-877-WEB-NOW. 1 is the number.
Oh, I got a great night's sleep last night. All thanks to MyPillow. It conforms to your neck and back. You really, you got to try the MyPillow. And also the MyPillow towels, the Giza cotton sheets, and this mattress topper. It has 3-layer design, the MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and the ultra soft patented temperature regulating cover. It comes with a 10-year warranty. The cover is washable and dryable, made in America, and backed by the MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. So get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want. And right now, 30% off that MyPillow mattress topper. Plus, when you use promo code Amy, you'll get 2 standard MyPillows for free. Go online to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. Many of you will recognize those calming, moderating words from Lincoln's first inaugural. Such moderation has been largely missing from our public discourse in recent years. When Trump supporters gathered in D.C. this week for the Stop the Steal protest, it's hard to imagine that more than a tiny fraction intended violence, but some surely did. And I don't believe the president intended the riot. It has done him great damage. He ought to have seen the potential violence. As it unfolded, he ought to have been quick to condemn it. In condemning it, he should have